Good morning to all. Welcome to class 11th economics, chapter number 1 of statistics. That is introduction of statistics in economics we were doing. Yesterday I have just told you about the economic problem, that what economic problem we need to face in our economy, even in this world, where we need to, get a lot of things done. Economic problem, I told you, is the problem of choice. Economic problem is basically the problem of choice, right? So I'm just taking that as a recapitulation first in 5 minutes, then I'll be taking the other topic. Economic problem. Now, economic problem, I told you, is basically the problem of choice. Right? Economic problem is the problem of choice. Can you tell me why this economic problem arises, the problem of choice? Why it arises? You can write in the chat box. Why do we need to make the choice? Good, Yash, Nilima, Hushiarya, good. Because of scarcity of resources, the very first point which we have done. Secondly, limited alternative uses of resources, right? And if I talk about the third one, unlimited human wants. That I told you yesterday. That economic problem is basically the problem of choice. When we say economic problem is basically the problem of choice. It is the problem of making choices. But why do we need to make the choice? Why it arises? तो उस क्वेश्चन के लिए हम सिंपली बोलते हैं, why do we need to make the choice? Because of these three reasons. Because of these three reasons. One reason is that it arises because scarcity of resources. पहला रीजन ये हमारा ये आता है कि भाई जो ये अराइज होती है, it arises because there is scarcity, right? So the very first reason is the scarcity of resources, and due to the scarcity of resources it arises. And what is scarcity? We already know what is scarcity. हमें already पता है that what is scarcity. Limited availability of resources, where I told you that limited availability of resources means that the demand of the resources, the demand of the resources is somewhere more than the supply of the resources. यानी कि हम डिमांड कर रहे हैं 1000 यूनिट्स ऑफ चॉकलेट्स की, बट मार्केट में अवेलेबल सिर्फ 600 यूनिट्स ऑफ चॉकलेट है. दैट मींस देयर इज स्कार्सिटी ऑफ चॉकलेट्स. देन द सेकंड रीजन फॉर द इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम चॉइस इज alternative uses of the resources. Now what is alternative uses of the resources? Alternative uses of resource means the resources can be used in various ways. If I'm saying that I have rupees 2000 note, then that 2000 note rupee is my limited resource for me, right? And it can be used in various ways. How it can be used? Alternative use क्या होंगे उसके? It can be used for making for purchasing the chocolates. It can be used for purchasing a mobile phone. Yes, it can be used for purchasing any of the books, any stationery item. It can be purchased. It can be even used for recharging your mobile phone, your DTH connection, your Wi-Fi recharge, and so many other ways to utilize that rupees 2000 note. That means the scarce resource, which is rupees 2000 with me, have alternative use. बहुत तरह से use हो सकता है. So definitely we need to make a choice. कौन सा तरीका मुझे अपनाना है? वो कैसे? According to unlimited human wants. I will see what all are my wants, whether I want to utilize it on chocolates, whether I want to use it on my mobile phone, whether I want to use that 2000 note on installing the Wi-Fi or recharging my DTH connection or getting any other service. So I have to make a choice, because human wants are unlimited. They multiply, because when one want is satisfied, definitely the other want arises. Then that want is satisfied, the other and other want arises, so it multiply. Human wants multiply themselves. So ultimately we have to segregate that what are the most urgent wants which are needed to be fulfilled. For example, these days हम लोग खर्च किस पे कर रहे हैं? सिर्फ राशन पे खर्च कर रहे हैं. We are not buying any clothes, we are not buying any of the other items, like koi bhi hamara special item we are not purchasing. We are just utilizing the money only and only on ration items, because these things are necessary to life. Salt chahiye, sugar chahiye, rice chahiye, wheat chahiye. We need all these things to live, to survive. So we are spending the amount on that only, because now our want are just specified towards the ration only. And once lockdown will be over, situation will come to the normal, COVID-19 would be over, then definitely when markets will open, we will definitely go to the markets and will buy those commodities as well. And in that case, that would be our the next wants. So we have to make sure that what are our now most urgent wants and what wants can be postponed. And accordingly, we have to make a choice that the most urgent wants must be fulfilled now, and the wants which can be postponed should be fulfilled later. I hope this point is clear to everybody. So this topic we covered yesterday, that what is economic problem? That is problem of choice. And why do it arises? It arises because of three major reasons: scarcity of resources, alternative uses of resources, unlimited human wants, right? Now moving further. I told you the definition of economics, various definitions yesterday. In yesterday's class, we have discussed various definitions of economics. That economics is being defined by various, economists like Robbins, Professor Robbins have defined the economics, and others are also there who have defined the economics. Where we'll simply say that economics is all about the making choices. Economics is all about making choices from the scarce resources which have alternative uses and making your most urgent wants fulfilled. That is termed as economics, right? So, acha, any other topic which we did yesterday? You tell me in the chat box. Otherwise, I'll move to the next topic that we have to do in this chapter, right? I just told you 3 points also yesterday were about the components of economics. Components of economics. If I talk the components of economics, then I'll say components of economics. Then the very first components we do have is consumption, right? The second component we have is production, and the third component we have is distribution. Now, what is consumption, production, and distribution? That we have already covered this. Consumption, any activity which is done by the consumer. If I'm a consumer, I'm going to the market for purchase of bread, for purchasing of bread, or for purchasing of eggs, or for purchasing of any other commodity, household commodity. I'm doing the consumption activity, because there I'm in the market to purchase that, and I'm purchasing it for the consumption purpose, for consuming that, utilizing that commodity. Second is production. Production is the activity done by the producers. It is the activity done by the producers. Producers do the production activity, and production is basically about the production of goods and services, right? If I'm the producer, I'm making goods and services. So I'm the producer, I'm doing the production activity. And what about in the distribution activity, where I told you that there are always 4 factors of production? Just tell me what are these 4 factors of production. Please write in the chat box and tell me what are these 4 factors of production. खुशी, अक्षित त्यागी। खुशी, आपने गलत जवाब दिया है। अक्षित त्यागी हैज गिवन द करेक्ट आंसर। Harshita Bansal have also given the correct answer. Shreya Jain, yes. Okay. So ultimately, when we say that what are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. These are the four factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur or enterprise. So definitely these factors of production must be given some factor payment also. For example, if we are using land, we are giving the rent for that. If we are using the labor, we are definitely giving the wages and salaries for that. If we are doing using the capital, which means money, we are paying the interest on that. And the enterprise himself paid the profit to the entrepreneur, right? So ultimately, these factors of production have some factor payment, which is ultimately the distribution activity. So distribution activity means how the amount is being distributed to the factors of production. The factors of production को आप economics में किस तरह से amount distribute करते हैं. Clear? So we have to just take care of consumption. We have studied first component, second we have studied production, and third we have studied distribution. I hope this point is clear to all. Components of economics, which we have already covered yesterday, in fact. And one more topic we covered yesterday, economic activities versus non-economic activities. Economic activities versus non-economic activities. The next topic which we did. Economic activities versus non-economic activities. Now what are these? Economic activities and non-economic activities. सबसे पहले आंसर आया अक्षित त्यागी. Any activity done to earn a livelihood is termed as economic. Any activity done out of love, care, and termed as non-economic. Very good. I told you that economic activities are those activities which have money measurement. Money measurement means which can be measured in terms of money. If I'm going to a restaurant and I'm having food there, then definitely the restaurant owner is going to give me the bill. I'm definitely going to get the bill and I'm going to pay the amount to the restaurant owner, because that is the economic activity for that restaurant owner. Why? Because he is doing this activity for the sake of money, because it involves money, right? And if I say at home, if I'm getting the same dish, same food at home cooked by my mother, will it be an economic activity? मैं कहूँ मम्मी को कि मम्मी आपने तो मुझे आज 200 रुपए का खाना खिलाया है, 200 फ्लाइंग चप्पल भी आएगी साथ में, है ना? So this is non-economic activity. Why? Because that activity is being done by the out of love, care, and affection, because that doesn't have any money measurement involved. उसके अंदर कोई money measurement थोड़ी ना involved है. That activity is just the non-economic, which means which is done out of love, care, and affection without affecting or without having any of the major money measurement, right? So economic activities, when we are explaining, we are simply saying that economic activities are those activities which are done for the money, which are done for the sake of money, with the aim of earning some profits, earning some livelihood, earning some livelihood, and it involves the money measurement. But when we talk about the non-economic activity, we simply see that non-economic activities are those activities which are not involved in, for the sake of livelihood or for the sake of money. These non-economic activities are basically the activities which are being done out of love, care, and affection only. All right. So till this topic we had completed yesterday. Now we are moving with the next topic. अब चलते हैं जरा next topic की तरफ. But before going to the next topic, the same thing which I have just told you all, would like to know from you people as well, that what have you understood from this, right? So for this, I would like to go to some children who are going to explain me that what all we have studied here and how this all works. Ankita Singh, you are unmuted. What we have learned today, just give a brief view of this.
Sir, today we have started with the problem arises due to the choice. Economic problem arises due to choice. and we have read about its three factors: limited resources, unlimited wants, and alternative uses of resources. Then we have read three different definitions of economics. First is utilizing the scarce resources in best possible way. Second, economics is using the scarce resources in such a way that it gives maximum output and judicious use. The third
Hmm.
one is economics is basically using the scarce resources which have alternative uses in best possible way that these resources fulfill at least our most urgent wants. Then we
Okay.
have read this definition of scarcity of resources. It is the limited availability of resources in relation to its demand. Then it's the component of economics. First is consumption, second production, third is distribution. The four factors of consumption are land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. Then we have discussed the difference between economic activities and non-economic activities with examples.
Fine. So I think now we shall move to our next topic, which we have to do. And the next topic which we have to do is basically about the other things involved in economics, in statistics as well, whether it is about the uh, features of statistics or economics, merits, demerits. So we have to just cover all these topics now. So I'm sharing the screen. The PDF I've already sent you yesterday. This is the books PDF I have just sent you yesterday. Now, meaning of statistics, because we are doing introduction of statistics in economics. So what is meant by statistics? See, if we have to explain the statistics, it can be explained in two ways: singular sense and plural sense. When we say in singular sense, means we have to just explain it with its steps, that what all steps are being involved in statistics. आजकल न्यूज में आप सुन रहे होंगे कि अमेरिका में किसी यूनिवर्सिटी ने, ऑक्सफोर्ड ने, मान लो सपोज लंदन की ऑक्सफोर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी ने कोई स्टडी की, उससे ये रिजल्ट आया। देन अमेरिका में साइंटिस्ट ने कुछ स्टडी किया, उससे ये रिजल्ट आया। अभी पीछे आपने सुना होगा दैट इंडिया जो है वो कोविड-19 को प्रिवेंट करने में काफी मतलब सफल रहा है, तो उसके लिए एक स्टडी आई थी और स्टडी ने बताया कि इंडिया जो है वो काफी ठीक स्टेप्स ले रहा है। So कैसे ये स्टडी निकल के आती है? How we reach to that statistical study? How do we reach actually to that statistical study? You know, after every 10 years, after every 10 years, we have census in India. After every 10 years, we have census in India. What is census? Census is basically the population counting. Census is basically the population counting. So after every 10 years, we people have the census or the population counting in our country. That population counting, that population counting, is a statistical study. Now I will just explain you statistics in singular sense by taking this example of population counting only. The statistics in singular sense simply explains us about that it is defined as collection, organization, presentation, analysis, right? And interpretation of numerical data. So statistics in singular sense, when we actually explain the 5 steps involved in statistics. एक statistical study तक reach करने के लिए 5 steps are involved in that, and those 5 steps actually contribute to the statistics. सबसे पहले क्या करते हैं किसी भी statistical study तक पहुंचने के लिए? We have to make a study that what is the birth rate in India, what is the death rate in India, what is the literacy rate in India, right? मुझे सारा पूरा study करना है. So first of all, what I need to do is I need to do the collection of data. करना पड़ेगा ना collection of data, because if I'm not doing the collection of data, then how I would reach to the statistical study? So first of all, definitely what I require to reach to any of the statistical study is the simple collection of data. That first of all you must collect the data, because if you will be having the data, it would be easier for you to reach to the further statistical studies, right? If I talk about the second thing, after collecting the data, डाटा, अब सपोज सेंसस की बात करते हैं हमने हर घर घर जाकर के डाटा कलेक्ट कर लिया बाय टेकिंग द न्यूमरेटर्स मेथड, ठीक। मैंने हर घर घर जाके डाटा को कलेक्ट कर लिया, लेकिन would that data be useful if it is not arranged? Just give me answer in the chat box. Will that data be useful if it is not arranged? Because उसके अंदर तो सारा का सारा यही आता जाएगा कि कृष्णा नगर, शादरा, उसके बाद गीता कॉलोनी, दिलशाद गार्डन, उसके बाद कोई और एरिया, उत्तर प्रदेश के सारे चीजें एवरीवेयर। इट विल जस्ट रिफ्लेक्ट अस दैट, वो क्या रिफ्लेक्ट करेगा कि इस घर में इतने लोग रहते हैं, इतने मेल हैं, इतनी फीमेल है, इतने चिल्ड्रन हैं। इस तरह से वो सारा एक्सप्लेन कर देगा। विल दैट डाटा बी यूजफुल? इट विल नॉट बी यूजफुल टिल इट इज ऑर्गेनाइज्ड। ऑर्गेनाइज्ड मीन्स नाउ यू कंपाइल द डाटा, एरिया वाइज कंपाइल कर लो चाहे डाटा को, टोटल कंपाइल कर लो चाहे डाटा को। हाउ मेनी मेल्स आर देयर टोटल, हाउ मेनी फीमेल्स आर देयर टोटल, how many people are there living within the age of 10 years, that is children, how many people are going to school in different areas and different families, which means we need to organize the data. Because if we are not organizing the data, if we are not organizing the data, then definitely we can't reach to the statistical result properly. So we need to organize the data in a well manner. Otherwise, we will not reach to the statistical study. The statistical study would be like useless for us if we are not arranging the data. Why? Because the raw data, the raw form data is not at all useful. It does not reflect any of the thing. So definitely we need to get the organized data. So once the data is collected, the second foremost step is organization of data, that we need to organize the data. Now once the data is organized, suppose in table form it is organized, or it is just showing the tabulation, don't you think it should be in a presentation form? You should make some graphs, you should make some pie chart, some histogram, or some arithmetic line graphs, so that just having a look at that histogram or just having a look at that pie chart, we can come to know that which portion of the diagram has the more involvement in the data. For example, if I have just made the pie chart reflecting various things, reflecting my expenditure, or reflecting people's expenditure on health, people's expenditure on food, people's expenditure on paying some interest or rent. So having a look at the pie chart only, I would be like completely confining that कि वो पर्सन किस पे ज्यादा खर्च कर रहा है और किस पे सबसे कम खर्च कर रहा है, मुझे देखते ही पता चल जाएगा. डोंट यू थिंक प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ डाटा इज एक्चुअली वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट? Because just having a look at that presentation of that data on the diagrams, on the graphs, on the histograms, pie charts, definitely I would be getting the compiled result. I would be getting the clarified result that what that data is presenting to me. And I should not have to read out all the data. Why should I read out all the data when I have been given the diagram? And having a look at the diagram just give me the complete data that what it is reflecting. My point is understood by you people, correct? So first of all, there is collection of data. Once the data is collected, there is organization of data, because organization is very very important. The raw data cannot be of useful at all. You need to organize the data, because once the data would be organized, definitely you won't face any problem, because raw data is just a mixed up data, messed up data, which is of no use. Then third is presentation of data, that after the organization of data, you need to present the data. And presenting the data means you need to present it in the form of any of the bar diagram, any of the pie chart, or any of the arithmetic line graphs, pictographs. There are various forms by which you can present the data. And the presenting the data in diagrams and graphs definitely is going to give you the complete review, एक direct तरीके से, that there is no problem at all in understanding the data from having a look at the diagram or graphs. Now if I talk about the fourth point, there is analysis of data. Analysis of data means generally used methods of analysis are measures. For example, we calculate the mean, arithmetic mean, we calculate the median, we calculate the mode, we calculate the variation, correlation, index number, which means analysis of data means making out the result from that data. That what that data is reflecting. If we have just calculated the mean, median, mode, index numbers, or correlation that you will all study in the statistics, then what that data is reflecting from that, that how many mean workers are there who are getting the salary of 20,000 per month, or how many workers are there who are getting the mean salary of 20,000 per month, which means on an average nikalna hai, mode nikalna hai, median nikalna hai. We basically do this analysis of data, analyze the data. And last but not the least, there is interpretation of data. Interpretation means the drawing the conclusion from the data, reaching to the conclusion. This is actually the end result of statistics. This is actually the end results of statistics. End results of statistics means कि ये जो डाटा है आपका, ये एंड रिजल्ट है बिल्कुल, कि व्हाट वी आर गेटिंग एट द एंड, लास्ट में हमें क्या दिख रहा है, क्या मिल रहा है, क्या इंटरप्रेट हम कर रहे हैं उससे, व्हाट रिजल्ट आई एम गेटिंग, what was my objective of doing the statistical study, and what result I am getting. So this which I have just explained you is the statistics in singular sense. Statistics in singular sense. And what is meant by this statistics in singular sense? Statistics in singular sense means that whenever we are going to explain the statistics in singular sense, we are just going to explain the steps involved in the statistics. Yaad rakhna, S for singular sense, S for steps involved in statistics. So whenever the statistics in singular sense we have to explain, we have to just explain the steps involved in statistics. And what are the steps involved in statistical study? First of all, there is collection of data, then there is organization of data, then presentation of data, then analysis of data, and interpretation of data. Is it clear to all? Please tell me if it is clear to all. Just write in the chat box and show me your thumb on your screen if it is clear, so that I'll just continue with the next topic. Collection of data. Okay, understood. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear. Okay. Fine. तो फिर एक काम करते हैं ना, जरा लेट मी आस्क फ्रॉम यू पीपल ओनली, एक बार जरा आपसे पूछ लेते हैं थोड़ा सा और कुछ जो आपने इससे समझा. नमीश जलान, यू आर अनम्यूटेड. नमीश. Namish, you can speak now.
In singular standard, statistics refers to first five statistics have 5 stages in singular sense.
Asha, was my voice cracking? As Vidyanshi is saying, my voice was not clear. It was cracking. Is it so?
No,
Please
sir.
tell me.
No, sir.
It was clear.
No, sir.
Okay, Vidyanshi, there is, I think, internet problem at your end. Okay, continue, Namish.
5 steps: collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of data. In collection of data, we collected data by census or sample survey, and after that we organize it in a tabular method or classify it, and after that we just present it through the graphs or other graphical other charts like bar chart, line chart, pie chart. Then we analyze the data through mean, median, mode, and then we obtain the final result by interpreting the data.
Okay. So ultimately, when we have to explain the statistics in singular sense, tell me what basic we are going to explain in statistics as a singular sense. We are basically going to explain the steps involved in statistics, right? So moving further to some other student first, I would like to know it from Nilima. Statistics
Yes,
as a singular sense. What all we have to study in this?
the statistics in singular sense means a step involved in collection of data and presentation of data.
Okay. What
So
all steps we have to do for the statistical study?
So first step is that we have to collect data by doing census or surveys. Then we have to organize that data in a proper manner. Then we can represent that data by using diagram, graphs, or any chart. Then we will analyze that data by finding the mean, median, mode, and then we will interpret. That is the final result of that data.
Okay. Okay. So would like to move to some other student for this explanation again. Would like to know it from Akshit Tyagi. Akshit. Akshit, I am unmuting you, but I think your microphone is not unmuted yet. Okay, no problem. Moving to other. Vaishali. You can speak, Vaishali.
Statistics. We have studied about statistics in singular sense. When we talk about statistics in singular sense, we explain the steps involved in statistics, and the steps involved in statistics in studying the statistics are the first the collection of data, then the proper organize then how we organize the data proper, that is
Vaishali,
organization of that
why there is need Vaishali, why there is need to organize the data? Why can't we use the data in raw form only?
Sir, because if we will use the data in raw form, it will be inconvenient for us to understand the data. And if we rather if we organize the data, it will become easier for us to interpret the data, well, the real facts, and
Hmm.
the real facts that we want to tell, we want to express, will be expressed more clearly if we will organize our data.
Hmm. Okay. Then the third step would be
Presentation of data, that we can use some graphs, histograms, some like this for better presentation of our data, then analyzation of data, and the last step was interpretation.
okay. So in interpretation and in analysis, what do we do in analysis of data and interpretation of data?
In analysis of data, we analysis the data, we uh,
Calculate the mean, median, mode, and various statistical study, various mathematical results we reach to the after analysis of data, and the last is interpretation of data. That means reach to the supreme result for which the statistical study was being done. So ultimately, finding out the major result of the statistical study which we have covered comes under the interpretation of data. So all these 5 points are there, which we say that the statistics can be explained in a singular sense way. So in the singular sense, the statistics is basically explained with the 5 steps involved in statistics. First is collection, then organization, then third is presentation, fourth analysis, and interpretation of data. I hope this topic is clear to all. So now I'll be continuing the topic tomorrow. Till then, kindly revise the topics which we have covered from this chapter as well, as these all are very, very important for the exam point of view, and start learning the syllabus that is coming in your May exam, because today is 12 and your exams are starting from 15th only. So you must learn for sure. And kindly do that. Again, I'm telling you the syllabus coming out, the 2 chapters from the microeconomics, theory of demand and elasticity of demand, and the other 2 chapters are coming from the statistics, that is chapter number 1 and chapter number 2. So kindly please do learn all these chapters thoroughly and prepare yourself for the exam, as hot questions in the form of MCQ would definitely be asked in paper. So definitely learn accordingly. Okay, so we'll continue the topic tomorrow. Any doubt, you can just post it in the eco group. I'll definitely discuss. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow.